All right, so I'm gonna show you guys real quick how to set up your Calendly. So it's obviously gonna look a little different on my end because it's already set up. But what's gonna happen is you're gonna get an email asking, you to sign up. We send you an invitation. You have to use the email we put on the account. So we'll tell you what email we're using, whether it's when we sign you up for the website email, right? So like mine is eb@CCA Coaching. So it'll probably be your name at CCA Coaching, but we'll let you know what it is once we get you signed up. So once you're registered on Calendly, you're going to go on, there's going to be kind of these boxes. Your boxes are not going to have names to them or anything like mine. But if you go on here to settings, that's where you can edit the name. You can clone it and make another type of session or call booking, and then just change the name if the hours are essentially the same. So it's really easy if you want to delete. And then anytime you're making a new event type, you'd have to click here to make a new event type. So I believe the settings are when you sign up, I think they only give you 2 event types, but you really want 3, right? You want at least a 30-minute tech session event, a 45-minute client call, 30-minute client call. You can have a separate event if you only take onboarding calls on certain days. I don't really specify that for my end. So I just do 30-minute tech session, 45-minute client call, 30-minute client call, right? If it's an onboarding, the client should know once they get the welcome packet and we text them and introduce them and or introduce ourselves and give them a little walkthrough of everything. We want to send them our 45-minute client call session event. And then from there on, they get the gist of how to book these calls, right? But in the beginning, it's a lot of hand holding, a lot of walking through for them what sessions they should book. So the easier and more simple you set this up, the better. So my child's having a heart attack in the back end right now, but my husband's there. So once you're ready to edit, you click on the box and you go to when can people book this event. This is for you to set up your schedule. Okay, so I have it to 60 calendar days. You can do it for, or actually, no, I have it set to indefinitely into the future, but I used to have it 60 calendar days and now I just have it set for indefinitely into the future, right? So depending on kind of your schedule, whether you're part-time, full-time, what your availability looks like and what your schedule would be. My schedule stays pretty consistent for the most part, so I can say indefinitely, but if let's say my schedule's changing in 30 days, 60 days, whatever the case may be, you can set the criteria here. All right, scroll down. This is a 30-minute client call, right? We're at 30-minute tech sessions. So you want to make sure that the time duration is correct. So it says 30 minutes. And then here, when you first come on, the standard settings might have you selected as use an existing schedule. You want to go to set custom hours. You want to make sure it's on your time zone. So when the clients book, they'll see the equivalents in their time zone, but you want to make sure it's in your time zone when you're putting in the hours. Okay. From there, you're going to just put in what days and times you're available, right? So I do Sunday for my tech sessions, Sundays, Mondays, Tuesdays, pretty much every day in the week, but different times varying depending on my availability, my other work schedule, things like that. So you put in your times here. Down here, you want to add time before and after your event. So after each event, I put at least a 15-minute window. That gives me time that if my call runs a little bit over or just to finish up the notes before I lead into the next call. Okay, so you want to give yourself that leeway there. Go on to additional rules to your availability. These are details that if you don't put them in, could really kind of screw up your schedule. So show available start times in increments of 15 minutes, right? So you could put different criteria, but I do 15 minutes. It just means that when they go to book a call, they can book it in 15-minute increments. So if somebody booked a 30-minute from 2 to 2:30, the next person go from 2:45 on, or if we put 30-minute increments, they can go at 3 o'clock, right? So that that helps us really have flexibility in how we have clients book calls with us. This is a tech session, right? So I want to just make sure that clients can't schedule within 2 hours of an event start time. Meaning that if I have an available time at 7, they have to book it by like 4:30, 4:50, 5 o'clock, it cuts them off. Okay, so at 5 o'clock, they're not allowed to book that 7 o'clock appointment. They can book it anytime before 5 o'clock. And I'll show you when I do the calls how that's different, because text sessions, I'm okay kind of getting a last minute text message session because I'm always texting with clients, but the calls are a little different. Maximum allowed events per day for this type of event, I put it to 5, and actually I'm going to probably change this down to 7 because of my schedule availability. So while I'm on here, I can go ahead and do that. So automatically detect and show the times. You always want to make sure, because of all the different time zones, you have this automatically detect and show the times in my invitees time zone. All right. And that's basically that piece. So from there, you hit save and close. We're just going to hop up here real quick. I skipped this before by accident. You want to go, just make sure, you know, if the event name hasn't been put, you can put the event name here. Mine is pretty simple, 30-minute text session. Some coaches have 30-minute text session with Evie or whatever, but if they're going to your page specifically, you know, it's your sessions. Location, virtual cell phone. All right. You can put a description if you want to. I don't really do anything. And then here, it's just the event link. So I put text dash session. And then the event color just means how is it going to show up on the calendar to differentiate. Now, the interesting part is, well, I thought these colors were going to show up like that on my Google Calendar. That's not how it shows up on your Google Calendar. It's just going to show up as a standard color when you sync it to your Google Calendar or your Outlook calendar, whichever email calendar you're using. Now, with the coach's email, I take that back. With the coach's email, it's all going to be Gmail. So it's just going to show up on a Google Calendar that's synced to your coach's email. But it will not show up in these colors. These colors are for when you're looking at the schedule through the Calendly app, if you're on the phone or the website. So kind of a bummer there, but just so you guys are aware of that. All right. Invitee questions. Just make sure that you have these criteria here. So you always want to have them, you know, and I'm shocked I don't have this as a requirement because it's so much easier. And I'll show you in a little bit, if I can actually, through my calendar. You want to make sure you have their first name, their last name, their email address, their cell phone. Instagram handle is optional. I don't require that, but I really want their cell phone number. Save and close. And that's basically it. Everything else is more additional options that I haven't really messed with. If we ever do start using these, like the cancellation policies, I'll talk to Michelle about that on how to utilize those really effectively. Okay. So, you know, if we want to check out how this would look, you'd go to view live page. And there you would see, you know, all the days that I'm available. You can even click on a date here and you'll see pop up. Okay. So interestingly enough, because I'm on, so I'm editing my schedule, but I'm on Michelle's account. She can see all of our schedules. So her schedule pops up. If I were to sign on through my own account using my email and my password, not through hers, I wouldn't be able to view anyone else's Calendly, just mine. My schedule would pop up here. Okay, so that also just gives you a sense of what's going on in your day. You'll see here times you are available, right? And then we can go back. So if we go back here, let me show you what the differences would be if you're doing a call. So let's go to 45-minute client call. Again, we click the box. Right from the top, what event is this? Making sure the title's correct. Right, I just put 45 minutes for the event link, the color, which again, really doesn't help us. If it's, I would have loved the different colors on the Google Calendar, but it doesn't do that. At least I haven't figured that out yet. So I do have this set to 60 calendar days. It doesn't have to be because like I said, I'm pretty much since a few days ago have a set schedule now with work that's a little bit more, what's the word? Consistent. So I could do it indefinitely into the future, which means that they can book it out, which most clients don't book past 60 days, but they could, right? Duration, 45-minute, right? This is a 45-minute client call. We want to make sure we click on set custom hours. Sometimes it'll be on the use existing schedule. You want to set custom hours. And then you just put your hours here, right? So I don't take calls on Tuesday, Wednesdays, and Thursdays because those are my longest days at work. So I usually do them Sunday, Monday, Friday, and Saturday. I take text sessions, but calls, as you get used to the swing of things, you'll see the calls do take a lot of kind of emotional energy and mental energy. So I know I wouldn't be at my best if I'm taking calls those days. The other days, my days are easier at work or I'm on the weekends, so I can take more calls then. Let me show you how to do an added date override. So let's say you know you have an event coming up or whatever, an appointment that usually you would be available, but you're not, or you have to change your hours. So you would hit add a date override. You'd select the date. Let's just say June 11th. And these are typically the hours I would take calls on Saturdays, right? June 11th is a Saturday. If I need to change the hours, I can change it. Or if I'm unavailable, I would click the trash can, I'm unavailable, and then hit apply. Right, then it shows up like these. So June 25th, I'm unavailable, right? And it's an event I have going on. July 2nd, instead of working till 2, I'm working until 12 because I have an event at 2. Right, and then September 3rd, I knew I had something going on, and I went as far as December 24th, Christmas Eve. I mean, that's like, you know, overkill, but yeah, okay. Again, 15 minutes after the event, and all the additional rules are still the same, save and close. So that's pretty much setting up your Calendly. I'm going to show you here. You always want to make sure too, when you're new on Calendly, that your event type, once you're finished, is on. All right, you want to make sure it's on. The standard setting is going to be off until you select it to go on. Okay, and that is basically it. You can always go here for scheduled events. These will automatically sync to your Google Calendar. You can also go here and see past events and future events that are coming up. So you can see like all see the colors here. That's where the colors are differentiated, not on the Google Calendar. If a client does reschedule through Calendly or through their own account, their calendar, they can write a note on why they rescheduled. Okay, so that's basically it. I mean, it's super user friendly, really easy to manage. I love it. So, you know, that's it. So any questions, you guys can let me know.